Hello everyone, this is Sondderr, and welcome to my Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes spending-focused farming plan. So what is this going to be? This isn't going to be a one-size-fits-all farming plan for people spending money because, quite frankly, that's impossible to do. Everyone will spend money at their own rate and on different things. But what this is going to be my own personal plans for the account I've just started up. And also it's going to be a very Lightspeed bundle light plan and account. I'm going to go over the sort of initial packs that I'm going to buy and what I plan to continue to spend my money on, and then go over how I see that fitting into my overall farming plan for my account. So what am I starting with? I'm going to start with hopefully some of the only Lightspeed bundles that I plan to buy, and I plan to buy these ones because they're very cheap for players under 4 million. The SLKR and the Finalizer Lightspeed bundle is a total of £30 or $30 for new players, and it's also incredible value. They also don't feed directly into other areas of the game aside from the Executor, so they both give a nice start in terms of giving you a GL and pushing you along towards the Executor, but they don't necessarily follow on to too many other parts of the game, which means I'll have to farm a lot of other stuff from scratch, which is the part of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes that I find the most fun. So the idea of buying these two is to give my account a good head start, a good kickstart when it comes to Fleet Arena, so I can get an early return on crystals. So I guess these are an investment in the start of the game, and to sort of bypass a lot of the pain of the early farms. But I do not plan on buying too many more Lightspeed bundles as things goes on. So I've also purchased the Hyperdrive bundle. This is a bit of a no-brainer. At £10 it gives a good start in terms of characters, but also materials and Zetas and crystals even, so it gives a good solid foundation to the account, especially at the value that it is. So these are the 3 packs I've bought at the start, which is a total of £40. So this is the foundations of my account and my farming plan. I'll also intend to buy the episode pass each month for £20, just because it's great value. Will give me a little head start when it comes to new characters, especially in the new era system that's coming. I think it'll be incredibly useful in terms of starting up those characters earlier than I would do free to play, and also all of the materials that comes with it. And then finally, once I get to Conquest, I will most likely be buying the Conquest Pass as well. So my aim is to spend about £50 a month. So far I'm about that after the start, but I think as things settle down, I will aim for that £50 a month mark. So relatively heavy spending, but trying to keep it interesting for myself by not just buying Lightspeed bundles and getting into immediate Zeta poverty and mod poverty. So I think this should hopefully be a little bit more interesting as a farming path. So in terms of what else I'll be spending my money on and crystals on, I'm coming to you from the land of the future to discuss the new update that's just dropped, and specifically the new currency that does come with it. So I see this being a big focus of my account, especially at the early stages, because what we're getting is a new type of currency that will mainly be used for buying Relic 10 materials if you're a late game account. But if you're an early and small account, the focus will be on these Erodium Lightspeed tokens that will take a character up to Relic 5 and 6 stars. And what's great about them is they are faction based at the moment. We don't know if this will change in the future, but it means there's a very wide selection of characters that you can upgrade. So this in theory should really accelerate a new account, especially one that's spending a little bit of money. So my short-term focus will be working out how to maximize getting this currency, which you obtain by placing high in the daily Coliseum leaderboards. But I tried to portray this through all the red string going everywhere, but I think this is still a bit of an unknown and a bit of a puzzle in terms of what's the best way to maximize this currency over a long period of time. Does that involve paying extra crystals to take a character higher up in the marquee event, or does this involve purchasing the era level specific materials early on and sort of getting a head start? In terms of high ranking, I still haven't worked this out, but I will look to make a specific video on this. But the short story is that a lot of the focus will be on maximizing this currency and trying to I guess increase the number of these tokens I can pick up over time, because they will fit very nicely into my existing farms. So the structure of my farming is not going to change. This just might accelerate things a bit. What else will I be using? Of course, I'll be making full use of the Lightspeed tokens that are coming out. I've gone over these in a bit more depth in my free-to-play guide, so I will just remain briefly on this, and I will explain how these will fit into my plans and supplement the packs that I've already bought and the packs that I intend to buy as well. So I guess let's get straight into it. My first target, surprise, surprise, is Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, because I have bought the Lightspeed bundles. Of course I have. These, again, very good value, and leaves you only with about three characters that you have to work on. The Finalizer bundle gives you all of the fleets you need to unlock the Finalizer, and the £10 SWGOH bundle gives you all of the characters apart from Emperor Palpatine, and all you have to do with the two Kylos is take them up to Relic 7. That's why I put the +2 from 5 to 7. And even better, Emperor Palpatine is a Lightspeed token in a couple of weeks. So again, no gearing required. I'll just take him straight to Relic 7. This will be the focus of the first month of my account, is to unlock SWGOH and then gear him up and add his Zetas. It'll take a month or so, especially as I wait for Emperor Palpatine. By that point, I'll have the GL, which will open up a good deal more opportunities for an early account and sort of cover a lot of the other gaps that I may be leaving by focusing on other things. And then the next target, or the next GL, will be Leia. Obviously, there's not much overlap with SWGOH. There's really no overlap with SWGOH. But what there is overlap with is the Lightspeed tokens, which covers about 7 or 8 of the characters, depending on who you want to use the Empire faction Lightspeed token on. I intend to use it on Piet, most likely, so I will have to gear up Scout Trooper. But this really puts Leia in reach early on, even for a free-to-play, But especially for someone spending a little bit of money should really accelerate things. And then I plan to, within, let's say, 6-7 months, have 2 GLs up and running. The reason I'm going for Leia early is because I will probably move quite quickly to the 4 million mark, already at 1.6 million after starting the account. And I want to have Leia there ready for proving grounds for Conquest and also for doing Conquest itself. But Leia should be able to unlock all of the events and proving grounds at 3 stars and get me started on unlocking those hard to get Conquest characters. So yeah, a bit of a no-brainer in terms of Leia. And these are when the Lightspeed tokens for Leia come out. You can see the earliest I could get her by if I use the Lightspeed tokens is March, and that would be for Bausch Leia. And that's about 5 months now from now, which I think is a reasonable target. I may be slightly after that because I've got a bit of a big farm between now and then, but I'll go into that in a second. The Executor. So for the free-to-play guide I did, I went over how this should be the main target and you should be ready to unlock the Executor as soon as the final Lightspeed tokens come online. That was initially my plan for this account as well, but I did since change my mind, and I'll explain why in a second. But you can see the Executor farm is made even easier by buying the Finalizer Lightspeed bundle, as well as covering 4 of the requirements. Darth Vader, Boba Fett, IG, and Bosk also covers Cad Bane. You do have to relic up Darth Vader and Boba Fett. Boba Fett is actually a +3 because it's relic 8. That's per maths on my part, I'm just noticing. So really, with the Lightspeed tokens, I really only need to relic up TIE Fighter pilot. So it's very easy. If I wait for the Lightspeed tokens, which would be about 6 months, just to unlock Executor with minimum investment. But the issue is that if I choose to wait for the Lightspeed tokens, that's a 6-month wait from now. With the Finalizer bundle, I'm pretty much ready to go within a few months. But I would have to wait anyway because of the Razor Crest, which is a really long farm, can take months and months. So I think I'm just going to accept the delay on getting the Executor because of the Lightspeed tokens and because of the Razor Crest. So I'm not going to work too aggressively towards the Executor early on. And also, I think for what I want to do with this account, waiting 6 months to have a usable fleet up and running is quite a long time. You can, of course, use some of the requirement ships, which I have already, under Tarkin or even under Home 1 to climb at the early stages. But I think that will only work for so long because eventually people in my shard will start unlocking GL ships and then I'll get moved back down. So for this account, I don't think it's optimal, given that I'm spending, to wait until the 6-month mark. I will probably still unlock Executor around this time, but with a bit of a spoiler, I think this would be my second fleet and I'd just be unlocking it to have it for an extra tool for JIC, and also because once you unlock a GL capital ship, you have to wait a little while to get it to 7 stars without using crystal refreshers. So it's always a good idea, if you can, to unlock ships early, and because of the Lightspeed bundles, it's essentially there. I'll just need to top up a few relics and then get the ball rolling come next April. And that takes me to what I'm going to be working on initially, and that is the Profundity. And you might be asking, why on earth would you work on the Profundity if you have most of the Executor requirements already? I think, as I've explained, there's a bit of a natural wait required for the Executor, and I think I can rush the Profundity a bit earlier. And also, crucially, with recent releases in the game, in Rebel fleets, I think even while I'm working on Profundity, I can have a usable fleet up and running within a few months, which I think is very important. So I should be able to push this earlier than the Executor, because I think I can farm Bistan's ship, which is also a hard ship, quicker than Razor Crest. I might be wrong on that, but it should hopefully be possible. I've had better drops so far, and I think that's the case. But even if I were to unlock them at the same time, if it took equally long, I wouldn't be, I guess, waiting for Lightspeed tokens to drop after I unlock the ship. And also, at this moment in time, Profundity is the better Fleet Arena ship than Executor. And even though it is possible to climb up with Executor, this will just make my life easier. This is my second account. I don't necessarily want to sweat it out every climb. With Executor, the mirror match is very easy with Profundity. It beats Executor in auto, and you can even use it quite well to beat Leviathan if that comes into my fleet arena. So I think in terms of future-proofing things and making my life easier, Profundity is the way forward. And also, a big part of this will be farming the requirement ships, and the requirement ships are important because they're also can be used under Home 1 in what's now quite a good fleet. Like, this is a mix and match between the two fleets, Home 1 and Profundity, but most of them are requirements for Profundity, with the exception of Ravensclaw, these two new ships. And I think that's it. Maybe Cassian. I think these are either all requirements or very easy to get. So I'll be starting by sort of double farming these two ships here, and also picking up the new ships when they unlock. They don't necessarily need to be at 7 stars to be useful. Another advantage of this is because I'm going for GL Leia, I'll use a Lightspeed token on Drogon, who is the pilot of the new ship, who I should be able to get the high relics. So that should hopefully give a lot of viability for the Home 1 while I wait on the Profundity rolling around. So I think this, for a spending account, I think this makes sense to go for initially, and then pick up the Executor when it comes with the Lightspeed tokens. I don't think this makes sense free to play, just because it will take longer, and you may as well wait for the Executor. Then finally, same thing as in free to play, I plan on picking up Bo-Katan. Bit of a no-brainer. 3 out of 4 will be done by that point, and will be a very good character for guild activities and just for GAC general purpose use as well. And this is when Bo-Katan comes out. Again, a very similar wait, and I don't think it's necessarily an issue waiting for Bo-Katan, Executor and Leia, because it gives me time to work on Profundity and also a few extra resource teams early on. So what are the key things I'm going to be keeping in mind? Is, I guess, firstly, as I said, this won't be a Lightspeed bundle heavy account. I should caveat that if you are spending, these are definitely the most efficient use of your money. I just think in terms of fun for me, I have done the Lightspeed bundle thing on another account, and I don't want this just to be a copy paste of what I've done before. So I'm going to not spend too heavily on these bundles. The only exceptions I will make is the sort of starter pack that I've given myself at the start, and also for maybe very hard to get characters, I'm thinking potentially what in the future, if I ever decide to go for JMK, or if I feel like I need Cam, those sort of characters that would be an absolute pain to farm. Otherwise, I will go for, but I would try to focus on farming. And also because from experiences, it's nice getting Lightspeed bundles, but it can be a bit frustrating because once you get them, you need to add zetas and mods, and you can find yourself, I'm sure this is one of the reasons Lightspeed bundles were released, but you find yourself sort of tempted a little bit to spend more on the new bottleneck that you've created for yourself in zetas. They are, I guess, even without spending on zetas, they are definitely a benefit and the best way to spend money, but for me they're just an element of fun that it removes, especially when it comes to an alt account. So what will I be spending my money on? I'll be spending on the episode pass and the conquest pass each month, and then probably about £20 to, if a particularly good pack comes out that I need, or maybe a little bit of crystals, or we'll see. So, but these two will be the core of my spending. Other things is that so it will be probably easier to relic characters as a spender, but also in the new economy, just getting the episode pass and also the changes that are coming anyway. So the overall focus will, as in free to play, so I think this applies if you're a spender or if you're not planning to spend, is fleets first, then a sort of guild and AB. You can maybe, and assault battles, you can maybe switch those around. But I think long term you want to be guild focused. Assault battle are definitely good early to sort of pick up those zetas, those character tech. Maybe less of a priority if you're spending, because you should get those materials other ways. So I think that's why I prioritized guild, but those will be the focuses. Then I will of course pivot into GAC as things progress and I have my income up and running and locked in. So what is the plan? So this will look very similar to my free-to-play guide, but with some notable additions. The first, of course, being Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I think I should be good to unlock him next month, probably in a few weeks. I'm already building up the zetas, farming the signal data. I've just joined a guild, so I'm basically waiting on the economy changes and getting those raid rewards to pop up, those 2 relics, and then of course relics Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And this will also give me an assault battle, which is doable at CT3 with Kylo Ren. I have done this previously on my other account. It's not possible to 3-star without dark side, let's say dark vision, but that will give me an assault battle with, to be honest, no work on my part. This is the power of money in this game, unfortunately. Then simultaneously, I will be working on Phoenix, again, exact same as free to play. You basically get given them, and they can be used to assault battles. And a bonus for these guys for this account is that a lot of them are pilots for ships that are either requirements for Profundity or just used straight up in the Homeland fleet or in the Profundity fleet. So I may be encouraged to take them up to relics. And Hera, I didn't update it, but Hera is a relic 5 requirement for Profundity, so that's the only Lightspeed token that you could use for Profundity, but is a good head start. Then, as in free to play, I'll be working on the Poncho Bros, as they were called for some reason, or the half poncho dudes. They'll give you an assault battle, and could be used, I believe, under Keller and Beck, especially with Relic Delta coming out for the Ground War assault battle. And then also I'll be farming up Grand Moff Tarkin and some sort of throwaway Jedi Vanguards for the raid, just to get my score similar to free to play up to around 900,000. Hopefully, given Relic Delta changes, it should be possible to eke it towards the 900,000. We'll see though. I am tentatively farming Scorch. I will probably ditch this if maybe we don't get any like free shards of him over Christmas. That, depending on how things shake up, that could be a possibility. There could be a possibility of putting him alongside Tarkin and getting a really high score at Relic 9. Of course, with the episode pass, I should have a little bit more access to those materials than free to play. But I just don't know if it's worth it at this point in the raid cycle. So I'm tentatively farming him. If I have more important farms, I will probably ditch him, but I guess put a pin on this. I may to and fro a little bit, and then also I will be using the core of Piet and Scout Trooper, who are needed for Executor and Leia, and then just picking up some easy Imperial Troopers, not really gearing them that much. Gear 12 is, in my mind, especially with like the changes coming and getting new characters up to Gear 12, is essentially free or minimum investment. So yeah, I'm basically just using these for the assault battle only. I'm not really, apart from the early game, I probably won't have much use, but I think it's important to get that Zeta and Kyrotech income early on with assault battles. And then even at this early stage, I will be farming the Razor Crest, just because it's a very long farm. Then, because I will just jump back quickly actually, you'll see there's not that many energy farms at all, apart from for the troopers required. So that frees up a lot of energy, and specifically fleet energy, to go hard for the Profundity early on. So even as we speak, well, not literally, I guess, even this morning, I have been working on farming these requirement characters for Profundity. The plan will be to just to not refresh the characters because they're accelerated, so we're looking at about a 3-month time window to get all of these guys farmed and relic up. Some of them are currency, some of them are energy, but I will be refreshing the fleets, so namely the Outrider and the Raven's Claw. The Y-Wing I won't initially be refreshing because you get already at 5 stars with the what do you may call it, the hyperdrive bundle, and you can also occasionally use Galactic War currency on it, so I'm less worried about this ship. These will be the longer ones, as will Bistan's ship. This will most likely be the last thing that gets done farming, but as I said, I'll be able to use these ships as part of the Home 1 fleet even before I unlock Profundity. And yes, Bistan is a part of that fleet, but you don't necessarily need him at 7 stars to be used in that fleet. Yes, it'd be better, but still usable. So that's the plan. Sort of farm Profundity, but make use of the ships in a Home 1 fleet. And by the end, I will actually have 2 fleets ready to use out Profundity and Home 1, and then I'll be getting Executors soon after, so that, as well as obviously helping in Squad Arena, will give me a really strong foundation for GAC, and probably, together with the GLs they'll be farming, be enough to move up a little bit in GAC. These are just the additional pilots, either needed just for the ships anyway in order to unlock Profundity but aren't requirements, or are needed for the Home 1 fleet. I don't know why I decided to take K2SO to gear 13. That should probably just be gear 12 initially, like the others. Then I'll add relics as I need to. But the only big investment will be Kyle Katarn. These 4 here will be easy farms that I can do with just Galactic War currency, and we'll just get up to gear 12. Drogon I need anyway for Leia. Akbar I need anyway for Leia, and it's a Lightspeed token. And Kyle Katarn will be the expensive farm, but is also a requirement for Starkiller. And because I'll be farming Dash anyway for Profundity, that's me halfway to Starkiller as well, which is very nice indeed. Then next phase will be finishing Leia. So because I'll be picking up the Profundity first, I won't need to sort of rush or worry too much about Executor. Yes, I want to pick it up as early as possible, but the next priority will be getting Leia, just so by the time I hit 4 million, I am ready for Proving Grounds. And as you've seen, Leia is made very easy with the Lightspeed tokens. The dates here, or just the date here, is just when the SWGOH Lightspeed token comes online. So this would be the earliest I could farm Leia by. I don't know if I'll be able to hit that. It doesn't matter too much, but this, just for my own benefit, is the earliest possible date. Both of these are Lightspeed tokens. The slower farm will be on the Ewoks, specifically Wicket and Nisa. I'll start farming them as soon as I can, as soon as the Profundity farms start to wrap up, probably after about 3 months for the characters. Wicket is actually on the same node as Death Trooper Peridia, which is fantastic. Leads into another farm. The rest of the Ewoks are easy to unlock. CLS are made up of requirements from Commander Luke Skywalker and 3PO and Chewie, which are both Lightspeed tokens. C3PO you pretty much get by working on Ewoks, which are requirements. These 2 aren't requirements, but you can, I bet, have them at gear 1. Level 1, and still be able to unlock C3PO with the others at relics. Chewbacca is a Lightspeed token, and is a requirement for other farms, and may as well get CLS up and running. Very versatile squad early on. Han Solo, easy farm. And these ones down here are just the final characters. Most of them are Cantina farms. Rebel Officer Leo Organa I'll pick up with Guild guild store currency as I go along. Don't really have too many requirements apart from Pyrotech for GE2. As I work on Leia and unlocking Leia, I'll be sort of slow farming the executorships, which after the Lightspeed bundle are only these 3. Punishing one isn't a requirement, but is useful to have. IG ship is already at 5 stars, and I bought a calendar that accelerates it a little bit, so I won't have that far to go. And then also around this time, probably straight after Leia, I will try unlock Bo-Katan, and will be a very good guild-focused team and GAC team. And that leaves me with, I guess, the current horizon of my farming plan. This will of course change. I will most likely be worried about the new raid at this point, probably a little bit before, but as soon as I finish those and these Lightspeed tokens come out April 21st again, I'll pick up the Executor and get that started in terms of getting the shards each month. Other things that I will most likely be working on is Starkiller, because should already have 2 requirements. Mara Jade will actually fit quite nicely into Emperor Palpatine's team, which I'll be farming by default, and a nice bonus because I will be purchasing the episode pass and potentially participating in the marquee events a little bit. I may be able to get the new Darth Vader Duel's End. Out of all of the characters that are coming out in this anniversary era, that's probably the one I will focus on if I'm able to. The others, I won't really have the teams available apart from Stormtrooper Luke, but his I think his viability, especially in 5v5, goes down once you unlock Leia and R2D2 gets stolen. But my order of priority, and I might make another video on this, will be definitely Darth Vader first, then probably Luke, then probably the others. I won't be going for a sort of day one spider legs mall unlock. I'm going to be spending, but I'm not going to be spending that much on this account. Then also at this point, or maybe before, I'll pick up Grand Inquisitor for the Lightspeed. I've got that on my mind for the Assault Battle, and then also continue to work on the Peridia Patrol battle. So yeah, that's the plan going forward. It can of course all change as things change. I bravely made this, I think, literally like minutes before the new update, so I could be completely wrong about everything, but I think they've given us enough information to go on. Thank you very much for watching. If you can, or just if you're interested, please feel free to subscribe, give the video a like. I'm doing this just out of a sort of personal project, but it is nice to get feedback and see that people are watching it as well. So thank you very much, and see you next time.